Hello, I hope you're well. Welcome to another video. A little bit different this time. I want to talk about a subject that's close to my heart. I have been massively triggered today, and I know a lot of you have had similar sorts of experiences because you've been telling me. But I wanted to talk about narcissism and the effect it has on family members. And when you go no contact, when you have no choice to go no contact, and what those little flying monkey people who are left behind do to you because of the narcissist. And when the narcissist finally dies, what actually happens, and what happens to that person who went no contact. Because as far as I can see, I know people advise no contact, but it hasn't done very much for me. It hasn't really helped me at all. And no amount of talking about it has helped me either. And I know some of you will probably feel the same out there, and others of you will feel, well, it did everything it needed to do for me. But the attacks still happen. People can still hurt you even from beyond the grave. And this is what's been happening to me. And I just want to come on. This is not all about me. This is about supporting other people, because this is the only way I can deal with this. Hoping that my grief, my anger and sheer bloody frustration, quite frankly, is going to help. Talking about it is going to help somebody else out here. I'm not no saint, right? I know what I am, but I am not a heartless human being. And I just find that some people really are. So I'm going to talk about that. And I've wanted to do some life coaching and stuff, but I just haven't been in the right frame of mind. I wanted to get that started. And now I feel like, yeah, I will be doing this at some point, because I want to help people who've been in situations like me. I may need to go and get some more training for this. I don't know. You can probably hear the shake in my voice. That's not emotion, that's sheer anger. So, and I have always had a problem with that, because I was told as a girl in particular not to show it, and I was shunned and stopped from showing my frustration at something. I was shoved in a corner, not spoken to for days on end by my whole family if I dared to say anything that was not fitting in with the way things they thought a girl should be, especially from my mother aside. And then the little, my father, who, words cannot express my disgust at my father and my brother. And I will tell you what's happened in a moment, but suffice to say, I will be taking legal advice, and I hope you are watching, because I am going to see a solicitor tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. I know this is going to trigger some people, but I really need your support, and I really want to support you back. So, and this channel has given me a voice, and I am grateful. I am so grateful for the support that's come to me as far as the US and Australia and everywhere. It's absolutely amazing. I thank you so much, and I know I'm not alone in this. So my heart goes out to you too for all the things you've suffered with narcissism. So I just want to talk about how you think no contact is the end of it, but I will explain my experience. So on my birthday, on the 24th of April, I got a text out of the blue from my brother telling me that my mother was lying dying in hospital. I'd had to go no contact from her because well, put it this way, I was getting a divorce. I suddenly had to leave my home. This is about 2017. I had a week to get out. We'd waited 2 years because it was down a chain. I had horrible people in the chain who suddenly decided that they weren't proper solicitors. I won't deal with these conveyancing people ever again. My solicitor actually fought them on it. My husband had left to live with this woman He's had it today as well, by the way, who, because he wouldn't, he was abusive. He was abusive too. He was a control freak, and I now know why I ended up in a relationship with him, because I was 17. I've known this man since I was 17 years old. And the betrayal is just, say, hey, hands up. I'm not totally innocent with things. And if you say you are innocent in one of these things completely, then you're not. All right? Because you're just not. No one is. It's impossible to be. Right? Even if it comes down to you've allowed it to come to you because you didn't stand up for yourself. It can be as simple as that. So don't think I'm here to shout my mouth off about other people and not accept be responsible for my own part in my own misery, shall we say, right? But I'm 17 years old, control freak. Should never have married him. At least I got my child out of it. I've had to go through so much, and I don't want this to turn into a bloody pity party, because I do that in private. I've lost so much, down to losing my dog, which I couldn't be there for. That was my dog. Lost everything. And it always starts with somebody's death or something major. And I'm so angry at spirit right now. The betrayal from 2007, when my grandmother died, and then my grandfather 2 months after died, and they were the stabilizing force. I adored them, and I still do. But your daughter left a lot to be desired, I have to say. And I have had to put up with things that went on since I was a kid, where my whole family stopped speaking to me for days because if I challenged my mother, whereas my brother was allowed to vent his anger, the sexism is just, was allowed to vent, was allowed to scream and cry, swear at her, do whatever he wanted, and he was still perfect, okay? I, on the other hand, was shunned. I was putting up with bullying at school and bullying in my own home. I never felt safe, not once in that house. She got me to the point where I just couldn't cope. It was terrible. Mental health issues, the works in the end. And interfering in my marriage, all sorts of things. Horrible. Telling me how I should be this, how I should be that, how I shouldn't do this, and allowing my brother to get away with it. But isn't that the way with men? You know, a lot of them, and I'm sorry, I know you're not all awful out there, but they just let them get away. If I could start a Me Too thing about this, I would. I've been sexually harassed, but I don't go shouting about it. And I'm sorry, but I don't. It's just not my style. I've had sexual harassment, control freak husband, and spirit. I feel used in a minute. I'm so sorry. It's not an easy job, being a psychic medium, being all those things. I wanted to write books. I just wanted to write books. Ever since I saw David Niven in that bloody Maxwell house advert when I was a kid, and I heard a German guy typing away in another villa when we were in Spain once, and I thought, that's what I want to do. I got stopped. I've had my books stolen. I've had my work stolen, and somebody profiting off it in the US, and it happened to so many of us authors out there. I've had Amazon and the way they go on about everything, you know, taking a cut, and I've had all sorts of things. I've had a publishing company, Blushing Books Publishing, just mess me around with all my books, everything. I've written nearly 200. What a waste of time. And today, I have always felt invisible. I have always felt really, really like I was nothing. And I know a lot of you out there feel that way, and we are not nothing. But today, I found the death notice of my mother, and I was eradicated from it. Absolutely eradicated, and my sister-in-law praised. And my inner child, yeah, took my mother away. Yeah, I saw it happening a long time ago. She lost her own mother. And eventually she just moved in because my mother didn't think I was good enough and always preferred, she was always comparing me to other girls and how I wasn't, you know, good enough. And I know a lot of you who've suffered narcissistic abuse out there know exactly what I'm talking about. And I am done. And I feel so angry in spirit because they knew this was coming and they didn't warn me. They betrayed me. And I'm so angry. They have been systematically taking, I think they think that loss propels me forward, but I'm drawing my line in the sand here. I'm like Sylvia Brown, the medium. Well, I'm not like her, but you know what I mean. She was top class, you know. She got angry at them. They think they're giving you lessons, so I'm going to teach them one. I'll shut them down if they don't stop. They keep me awake at night. I've had, it didn't do me any good. The loneliness sometimes, they've eradicated, and he's done it deliberately, because I'll start from the beginning. On the 24th of April, he sent me a text saying my mother's lying dying in hospital. Okay, I freak out. Apparently, this had started happening the week before, but I wasn't informed. He deliberately sent the text on my birthday, so I'll always remember it. Because he didn't want me there, because my brother is the golden child in this narcissistic thing, and the other people, my mum's friends who I used to look up to, you know, who were, you would have thought would have had a brain cell between them all, that, you know, why has this gone on? But, you know, I was the bad penny. I'm the bad penny, yeah. The people who loved me, the woman who I thought really loved me, and she did, was my grandmother, and she died in 2007. And from then on, it's, I pitted against my sister-in-law, everything. Anyway, I fell out with my mother on the week that I was being moved out of my house. I lost my marriage. I was losing everything, because I had to stand up for myself, and I lost everything. And I had to move out. I lost my 5-bedroomed home, everything. And I had to do all that. And she was all, I was sticking up for my father, who had been in hospital, and she'd made him go somewhere, and it had made him ill, and he had to go back to hospital because she shouted all the time and went on. And I know she suffered with her illness, but she wasn't a very nice woman. She was, if you played her game and you did exactly what she wanted and she was queen bee, then, like any narcissist, they were nice to you. I was the only one that stood up to her. And I'm not the only one in my family that got thrown out. My father's family were ignored. My cousins were shoved out and ignored. I don't even know where they are. The wife of her brother, one of her brothers, who she caused problems with her, she's disappeared off the face of the earth because she couldn't take it and walked away. So don't think I'm the only one that had to go no contact, okay? A lot of people in my family had to. And sorry, that's the rain, if you can hear it. So I had to leave. I stood up for my father, and I couldn't take it anymore because I wouldn't have got through the divorce. I had my son who was doing exams. His father had left him and gone off with his, I should be polite, friend, and to Corfu, and left me to get my child through his exams when he was upset. And I did it because I'm a mother and that's what we do. And I got him through, got himself through as well, and he's now finishing his MA. So I did all of that, and I had to walk away because she was on the phone moaning about something. And then I found out that my father, who had called me not so long ago, talking about how he was stressed out, and then she did that. So I stuck up and I just said, I can't speak to you. I didn't even get to speak to her because she never actually spoke to me about it. My brother sent me abusive text messages, sent my son abusive text messages. It was horrible. It was just horrible. And then, so I went complete no contact. I'd had to move away from everything. I was having to deal with my ex-husband. I had to fight for money for my divorce. Everything. It was horrible. And I know so many of you have gone through that. And then to be eradicated like that is just, there's no contact thing. Doesn't work. Didn't work for me, because the abuse had, you know, I've been in counselling and everything, that just, it never goes away. Her voice was still in my head. And this let it go after I let it go millions of times. And you get so far. I had to go through so much, like so many of you, over this. All the things, it's a why spirit I have to just keep systematically emptying my life. That feels like abuse too. I don't know. I really felt like I was going to lose it today. And that's what he wanted. So you got what you want if you're watching this. But I'm going to stand up to you just like I stood up to her. And you're not going to get away with this. No way. And I won't deal with you. But hopefully a solicitor will. Because I am not going to put up with this. Or, you know, that's just, he did that deliberately. I wasn't allowed to go and see my mother or speak to her. I wasn't allowed to get any closure on this, and I did need to speak to her. And I was told that they did not want me at the funeral. And I've been waiting for the death notice up. And I was basically told, you know, it said on the death notice that all of her family stood around her. And when she was dying, her beloved husband, son, daughter-in-law, and grandchildren, and named the grandchildren his children, completely ignored my child, who was her first grandchild. I can't tell you how angry I am. Sometimes you do have to stand up and be counted. And sometimes you need to step away. Everybody's situation is different. And this is the only way I can think of dealing with this. It's no use me talking to him because he's thick and he doesn't get it. And he doesn't get the abuse is still continuing. And all I can say is I will never trust anyone again. I would find it hard. I won't trust a man again, ever, because I have been stalked. I have been... I've had to deal with a control freak ex-husband. I've a brother and a father who just wasn't even there. And speak as you find, don't you? Well, that's how I've found, unfortunately. And I'm so sorry, but I just needed to talk about this. If it were, and at this point, you find out who your friends are. And my friend, if she hadn't been there this morning on that phone, I don't know what I would have done. It's continuing abuse. It doesn't end. I don't know how to end it, but I'm going to find a way. And when you're a psychic medium and your mother turns up from the other side, it haunts you. It isn't good either. All I see is her face. And I'm so angry at her. I can't let her in. I can't speak to her. And I don't know why Spirit aren't helping me. I don't understand why they think that I will move forward if I'm angry or if I'm in loss. I don't know what this is. I don't know why they're hurting me. I've given my heart. I've given everything. It's never enough. I'm not sure that I'll put comments on this. I just want to say it from the person's view who went no contact. How do you forgive something like that? These are people who tell you to forgive and forget and walk away. Please tell me how, because I did. It just followed me. And then I tried to deal with it mentally and emotionally. And that person still attacked me because they're still frightened that I may come in and take away what they had because they played the game. Talk about a starseed in a dysfunctional family. This is how I'm going to deal with it. And they should know, they should be careful, because I was legally trained. I've been trained in everything, just about, because I like studying. But I just wanted to say, I know how you feel. It's really hard. And sometimes you gotta stand up and be counted. And whether that's standing up and backing away and getting some peace of mind somewhere and working on the rest, working on the voice that's still in your head. That's what you have to do. But don't think that if you go no contact that it isn't going to follow you. It is. You've got to keep working on yourself, keep believing in yourself, and step forward, and don't let anyone stop you from getting there. I'll get there eventually. And at the minute, I don't know how. So if you've got any issues with it, get a counsellor, because I think I'm going to have to. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just don't know what else to say or how else to help. I just wanted to... I would just like to be able to sleep at night and not harangued by people in Narnia here. I still keep seeing the God, I've breathed. The people who stand here in my room at night. I knew there was something wrong for 3 days now. I've seen them standing going. They're never in sync with me at times. Well, at things like that. They know what's coming. They don't tell me, but they know what's coming. So they're already going, it's not us, not us, we didn't do it. Sorry, somebody's coming up the back stairs there. We didn't do it, and you know, but they did have a hand in it, whether it's a lesson, whatever it is. Sometimes spirit guides can be cruel, and if anybody tells you it's happy clappy and this is just about, and it's done for you, not to you, I don't prescribe to that. I'm sorry. You know, how can you say things are done for you? You may have bitten off more than you can chew as a soul, whatever it is, but it's not always done for you. It's done to you, and it's how you deal with it. That's what makes you strong, and it's how you treat yourself, because there are nasty people in this world. There are people who are out for themselves, and sometimes you have to confront them, but in a positive, constructive way, because shouting doesn't get you anywhere. And being like them, don't lower yourself. It's not worth it. Really isn't worth it. But there are means at your disposal. So I don't know what's happening now, but I can see a face right behind me. I'm tingling all over, so I think they're trying to get near me, whether it's to calm me down, whatever. I don't know. I don't care. This needed to be said. I stand by going no contact, and I stand by taking advice on this. And friends of my mother, you should be ashamed of yourselves. You really bloody should be. And my father, I wish I'd never bothered sticking up for you. You're not worth it. So, with that being said, I hope somebody finds some solace in that, or at least know how you feel. And yeah, that's how I feel. And I want to acknowledge how you feel, because it's all real. It's all acceptable. It's all, don't hide it away. Don't nothing. Don't. I'm going to go and learn how to help other people with this. And maybe I'll get some healing from it myself. So it'll be another service I offer once I get myself straightened out. Massive thank you to all of you who have supported me again and sent me lovely messages. Thank you very, very much. Take care of yourselves, and your feelings are real and they are valid, and I'm validating you. Okay? So take care of yourselves, and normal service will be resumed tonight. There's a video coming out of the channeling. Thank you, and take care. I can see faces behind me. Take care of yourselves.